Yo, 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 happy day, happy day. This your bruh, True Jew, tapping in with y'all. Look, what's the truth? What is this shocking truth about the New Testament that we all need to know about? First of all, look, when we read that Bible, I know a lot of us, we was raised with it, and we've gotten to a point where sometimes the narrative can be so confusing that it's just like, what am I doing still reading this book? And then when you got all of the different ideologies and different ideas that's coming from all over the place saying, stop reading this book. This book was used to enslave you, or this book was used to do that, or used to conquer the world. And it's all sort of confusion about it, right? Well, there was a point where me being a what I would like to consider a Bible scholar, but more so also an ancient book scholar, more so one who likes to delve into ancient histories so that I can see certain trends and patterns that took place throughout those histories and then bring them forth into our present time to see if any of those trends and patterns match up with what we're actually going through, right? And I just like to get as much knowledge as I can. So, regardless of how much the Bible could be confusing to myself, even, there came a point where I had to kind of sit it down for a moment, but not sit it down in the sense of wanting to burn its pages, not sitting down in the sense of tossing it out, the window while I was riding down the highway. That's not really the type of sit down that happened with me. It was more the type of sit down, when you're working out, you're working out for so long, right? And it gets to a point where you might be working out a certain aspect of your body, and your body just gets tired and needs to rest. Those muscles have been working so hard that they need a break. And once they take that break, while they're in the process of healing, that's when all the strength is renewed to those muscles and new muscular cells are developed, right? No matter if you go deep into the core of the muscle or along the outer edge of the muscle, those muscles begin to get hardened. They get that strength that you originally desired from the workout, right? And when we talk about study, deep train of thought, we're using this muscle that should be considered our strongest muscle. Within this avatar, the strongest muscle you should depend on and count on is your mind. And with a cloudy and foggy mind, or with a confused and frustrated mind, it's very difficult to come to certain conclusions that you would need to help propel you into your next train of thought. And I think we all have some sort of experience with that. And I'm not out of that myself. But one thing that happened with me when I sat down the Bible, just for a little while, I sat it down and I began to get frustrated myself with the overall narrative and the feeling as though, man, somebody had their hands on this book, man. It's like how we got it. I don't think that's the real thing, is it? And I'm hearing Old Testament folks that only deal with the Old Testament. I'm hearing New Testament folks that only want to deal with the New Testament. And it was like, what's really going on? Well, things started being revealed to me, and I want to share some of those revelations with y'all. And the revelations that I want to share with y'all today are primarily based with this so called New Testament. And I'm going to call it the New Covenant. The Old Testament is the Old Covenant. And both covenants are important for us to look at. They're both important for us to search through. They're both important for us to take heed to. So, why is this important? Well, when we start talking about the New Testament, one thing that really got me is, where is Yahweh? Where is Yahweh in the New Testament? This deity, this force. Where is Yahweh? And why do the Talmudists and those who only deal with the Torah, why don't they deal with the New Testament? Is it because Yahweh is never mentioned in the New Testament? And how come in the Old Testament, when we hear of Yahweh, we also hear of El Elyon, we hear of El, we hear of these other names. And if you read modern Christian scholarship, you will always see this conglomeration of those names. And what has been revealed to me is that there shouldn't be a conglomeration of them. They're actually different beings. Okay, they're actually different beings. Now, one thing I always want y'all to do when True Jew is talking to y'all, look, I give you the spiel. I want to give you that tea. You know what I'm saying? But I also want to make sure that you do your own due diligence, that you hear what I'm saying, and that you're able to take what is being presented through me amongst yourself, upon yourself, to go into the book yourself and read for yourself. I just want to help connect the dots and start making some lines available for everybody. Okay, now look. One thing that stuck out to me about the New Testament or the New Covenant, and as opposed to the Old Testament or Old Covenant, is that the New Testament is inclusive. The New Testament is inclusive while the Old Testament is exclusive. Okay, the Old Testament deals with the bloodline of Israel, the bloodline of Jacob, an actual people that actually existed and exist today, and that bloodline is actually here on earth. And the Old Testament, the Old Covenant, was given from this Yahweh character to the children of Israel, to the people of Israel, the blood people of Israel, as a covenant that he would always be with them and they would always be his people and they would always be blessed. But if they didn't deal right, that he would take that away and he would take them away and cause them much pain and suffering and turmoil and cause them to be enslaved and cause curses to be placed on them. While the new covenant still deals with the children of Israel, and it deals with the children of Israel through one of Israel's descendants, primarily the main character of the New Testament or New Covenant we know as Yahshua. Now, in modern Christianity, his name was perverted into Jesus. But in truth, if his name was really going to be in English, it would be Joshua. Okay? It would be Joshua, not Jesus. So when we talk about Yahshua, we see that he is a blood descendant of those same Israelites from the Old Testament, except he's coming and has come as a representative of this new idea, this inclusive idea, okay? And this inclusive idea was given from the Father. Now, who is this Father? Because we never see Yahweh mentioned in the New Covenant, in the New Testament. So where did Yahweh go? Well, this is where it gets funky, y'all. And this is where my extracurricular reading really came in handy. Well, when you start reading texts like the Ugaritic text, one of my favorite texts, you start to realize that, wait a second, this Yahweh guy, or this Yahweh, because remember in the Old Testament, Yahweh is a man. Yahweh is a man of war. Go ahead and read about it. Yahweh is a man. Just Google it. Yahweh, the man of war. Go read about it and come back to the video and get with True Jew. But listen, in the Old Testament, Yahweh is a man of war, right? But in the New Testament, Yahweh is nowhere to be found. Now, many Christian scholars will say, oh, well, Yahweh is the old guy. And now, in this modern time, the Greeks really didn't have an alphabet together to be able to produce the YHWH. So, he's just God the Father now. Nah, that ain't true, y'all. Don't believe the hype. You don't got to take True Jew word for it either. Go look for yourself. But this Ugaritic text, it describes this pantheon of deities. It describes this pantheon of gods that are born to El, the Father. And Yahweh is one of them. That's why when we hear Yahweh receiving this inheritance, who is this inheritance? Well, all of the children of El receive an inheritance, just like when a father passes away. Before he passes away, he leaves a will, an inheritance. Within the earthly realm, that inheritance is usually cars and houses and clothes and old family heirlooms. Well, in a God sense, those inheritances are people. And the inheritance that Yahweh received as a son of El were the children of Israel. Now, this is where it gets funny and funkier because as time moves on and Yahushua is born, there's a new covenant that must be established. But that new covenant isn't established with Yahweh, like Yahweh established the covenant with the children of Israel in the Old Testament or Old Covenant. Yahshua establishes a new covenant that's not exclusive, it's inclusive. It includes the children of Israel by blood and the children of Israel by the promise. Now, who are the children of Israel by the promise? All of the other nations, including the Gentiles. The Gentiles are the other nations outside of Israel who now have been brought into the fold of Israel, to the fold of the Israelites, to be partakers of the new covenant, which includes the salvation of the Father. Now, who is the Father? The Father is El. How do we know this? Now, I'm saying El in English format, but his name is really El. El. Say it with me. El. El. How do we know this? One of the most famous lines that Yahshua speaks in the Garden of Gethsemane before he is crucified. What does he say? Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. That is translated to, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Or, my Father, why hast thou forsaken me? That's another way in confirmation that we also know, side note, that Yahshua was speaking in African language because Aramaic is considered and known as an Afro-Semitic language. I hope y'all hearing me. I hope y'all hearing me. Proof of this further when we go into, let's say, the Bisa of West Africa or the Yoruba of West Africa, we see that the language, the alphabet, for instance, in Yoruba, our English A is Yoruba A. Our English E is Yoruba A. Our English I is Yoruba E. That's another proof that the Yoruba migrated from East Africa to West Africa. Yoruba legend and Yoruba story tell us that Oduduwa left the east of East Africa and migrated to the west, to the Nok civilization, and found refuge and home in West Africa. But the Yoruba ni mi, Yoruba ni mi, Yoruba ni mi, Yoruba ni mi, that means I am Yoruba. Do you see the same syllabalization and the same tones in Yoruba ni mi as Eli, Eli, la mashabachthani? That's Aramaic. Aramaic and Yoruba sound the same. I hope y'all hear me. I really do. And this is further proof that Yahweh was bypassed by Yahushua in order to go straight to the Father, El, in order to establish or have a new covenant established, which would include all people of the earth who believed and who knew and who felt and who were called, who were elected to the salvation of El. Okay? That is a great secret and a great thing that has been established within the word, but we have been taken from that truth. We've been taken from it, but guess what, y'all? We're being brought back to it. And Bruh True Jew has been used as a vessel to present that to you. Now, you don't got to take my word for it. Reference you can go look at. Google the Ugaritic text. That's Ugaritic. Ugaritic. Ugaritic or Ugaritic. Go look it up and you will immediately see the pantheon that I was telling you about and how Yahweh is one of the sons of El. Okay? Now, I find it to be very interesting. And that's why I think a lot of the individuals, like Torah only believers or Zionists or Talmudists, they refuse to look at the New Testament because they serve Yahweh. And Yahweh was bypassed by his father El in order to establish the new covenant with Yahshua. Look, it's your brother True Jew tapping in with y'all the only way I know how. You know I love you to life always. And most high mom and papa willing, I'll be back with another one. But until then, stay blessed, stay vigilant, and know I got you. Gone.